So is actually like a video response to Travelle baby, and I got a lot of respect for you. I like you a lot. We disagree on a lot, but we agree on a lot. Uh, Now, one thing I wanted to talk about, which is one thing that you didn't talk about yet, which is what's going on today with these Trump signing the executive order for the stopping of basically it's a ban of people coming here from certain Middle Eastern countries. Obviously, they're mostly Muslim. Now, I wanted to know your feelings on this. I have mixed emotions, and I'm real curious of how you feel about it. Now, my opinions are are mixed, as I said. Uh, I think that it's kind of messed up that you stop a whole group of people because of a certain few, even a mass percentage. If it was 75% of the population of those countries were doing these bad things to us, the other 25% are innocent, and now they can't come here, uh, which that kind of sucks. But in reality, the way I believe, the stronger part of my mind is telling me what other way can you really do this? If there is no vetting system, what other way can you possibly come about to uh, do security in our land from people coming from different countries? Now, as I said, I feel both ways. But what would you do? Uh, Obviously, there's always going to be people claiming racism, which I'm a firm believer that it's not. I don't think that the majority of our country are racist. I think that it's a hyped up disorder, a mental disorder that that really is just going to get worse before it gets better. Now, I think that there are racists, but the majority of us were not. Now, that was the beginning of my video. I just wanted to know what your opinions are for that. Two, I wanted to talk about your video that was labeled um, "White people are not racist," and I had clicked on it, and I thought it was going to be inspirational, but it was very negative. And basically, what I collected off of that video was a lot of bad things that these monsters have done to black people. Now, of course, these things have happened. Um, Unfortunately, they have. Now, they're very horrific and barbaric. But I I know for a fact that the majority of white people do not think that that stuff is good. Now, I think that the video was kind of misleading, and I think that the video was it upsetted me because the general white public, we do not want to see things like we don't think things like that are good. We don't want to see black people hanging from trees. We don't want to see you guys living in bad neighborhoods forever. We want you to prosper and come out and leave these places. I feel like that videos like that and you know comments that I've seen on many videos about anti-white things are only sparking the fire even more. It's adding oxygen to the fire that doesn't need to be there. Now, I asked you before, well, how could we fix this? And we both agreed to unite, but we both also agreed that's not going to happen. Um, Now, there was also this video um, that showed a police officer, raping a young black girl in a holding cell. I'm sure you've seen it, or if you haven't, look it up. You'll find it. Now, my problem with that, of course, it was disgusting. It was horrible. The guy should be put to death. He should be put to death, definitely. And the people that knew about it, I'm sure there was more people that knew it was going on. they should face charges as well. I don't even think there's any charges that are sufficient um, for that man. That the penalty that he should pay, I think it should be something even worse, because he's a horrible person. Now, the people that I watch these videos from wanted to make sure that they mentioned that it was a white man with a black girl. Now, why do they always do that? Why do they always mention that it's a white man? Because people like to hate white people. They like to blame white people for everything. They like to say that if it was a black cop that assaulted a white girl, that the cop would have been arrested a long time ago and this wouldn't have happened. And that's far from the truth. Okay? Now, this is a problem for all of us, especially me. I'm a low class citizen. I don't have a college degree yet. I'm currently enrolled in college, but I work bare minimum. I just make it by week to week. The police pull me over all the time. I'm white. The police have assaulted me. I'm white. Everything. I've done over 4.5 years in jail for one charge, a drug charge, nonviolent. I've seen the opposite, and if anything, I've gotten out later than black people from prison. I've been released later. I've seen black people come in and out of jail faster. I've also heard black people tell me in jail to not worry about my court date because my face was on the money. Obviously, it's talking about the people, the leaders that are the presidents or whatever, on the money are white, and that don't worry about it because I have it going for me. But that couldn't have been farther from the truth. Now, how can we ever move past and unite if everyone wants to blame white people all the time and say that we have white supremacy, that we just want to be supreme over everyone, and say that we have privilege, which we don't have? Because in actuality, the average white male in the United States, we don't even qualify for federal funding for things like school. Now, if your parents say make a certain amount of money, you can't even get the federal student aid. So that would mean that the poor families do in the inner cities, which are the majority black, and me, because I am eligible for financial aid. So we actually, I'm going to consider myself a minority, not because of my race, but because of my income and where I live. I live in a black neighborhood. I always have. Now, I have more opportunity here than a white man in the suburbs. I do hear white people complaining about that, but I don't see violence erupting from that. I see civilized things happening from that. Now, I'm not saying all black people are doing these things. I'm not saying all black people are racist, but I'm saying that I do see a lot of hate towards white people. Now, let's just say a guy named John Smith, just some random, white guy. He's living his life, doesn't hate black people, loves everyone, just in school, completed school, has a wife, a family, of kids. He becomes a police officer. He's a police officer in a black neighborhood. Now he's driving down the street, okay? I have a piece of shit. I have two cars. I got a Pontiac Grand Prix, and I have an old Honda, a piece of shit with tinted windows, rust, everything like that, Now I'm driving down the street, and I get pulled over by this guy, okay? He's not a racist, by the way. He pulls me over, and I'm sure if I was black, I would say, damn, he profiled me. No, I'm white. He didn't know who was in the car. I had tinted windows. I'm driving at 3:30 in the morning, home from work, but they don't know that. With tinted windows, going down a back road with a brake light out. Now he stops me. You know what I did? I said, here you go, sir. Here's my driver's license. Here's my insurance. Everything went fine. Okay? That's all that has to be done. It's not profiling because police think that it looks suspicious. Of course, if I was a police officer and I went to a shitty neighborhood, and by shitty I mean high crime rate, things like that, places you really wouldn't want to raise your kids, and I seen a guy with a hood walking into a grocery store, that's not profiling. That's saying, that looks pretty suspicious to me. It's not a race thing. Now I'm really getting tired of seeing all these things pushed on as racism and profiling. Maybe you do have to profile to secure people in that neighborhood. Not all people in bad neighborhoods are bad people, but you have to look at the evidence and you have to look at these things. Okay. Now, imagine being that cop that I just mentioned. Not racist at all. Okay. Let's just say you go and you answer to a police call. I don't know. I'm not a cop. I don't know how it works. You go and you answer to a police call, right? You go and dude pulls that dude. You're like, yo, license and registration. Dude's digging in his pockets. You're like. Matter of fact, if it's in your pockets, I don't really know what's in your pockets. So don't reach in your pocket. If you don't have it on, if you do, like whatever. Like, can I reach in your pocket? Is there any needles or any guns or any? Dude whips his hand out. I'm thinking about my family, going home to my family. Okay. Now you shoot him, and he actually dies. That wasn't racism. That was you trying to get home to be alive to your family. Was it a tragic event? Especially if the guy didn't have a gun in his pocket. Yeah, it was a tragic event. Okay? Doesn't mean it was racist. It's not a racist thing to say that black people destroy their neighborhoods. It's not a racist thing to say that black people kill each other. It's not a racist thing to say that black people hate white people. And it's not a racist thing to say that they're very disrespectful in most of the times. Again, I'm not saying all, because I've met some very good black people, very generous, very hardworking black people. Actually, a lot of them. But I would have to say that when you pull into a black neighborhood, you question and you say, wait a second, how are there people walking around saying Black Lives Matter that are coming out of these neighborhoods that they're killing each other in? How can they even say anything? They're throwing all their trash on the lawns. They don't cut their lawns. The grass looks like shit in the front yard. Their cars are illegal. All this stuff. Why would I even feel bad for people that destroy their own land? Why do Black Lives Matter all of a sudden when a white guy kills a black guy, but not when a black guy kills a black guy? Where are the protests when all these black people are killing each other, especially in Chicago, Travelle, which I know that you know about. You're from Chicago, right? No, I really like you, man. I'm not saying anything. I really do. I'm really confused here. I'm not saying I'm even right when I'm talking. I'm confused, man. How come people in the black community can kill each other, but where is the deep protest? How come when a white guy does it, it's huge? How come it's not labeled on the news when a bunch of black guys jump an old senior Trump supporter, pull him out of his car and beat the shit out of him? Where are the protests then? I just want to give you something to think about, okay? Don't get on the defensive right away, okay? I want to have a good conversation here. Now, I don't want you to get mad at me and everything. I'm talking to you because I like you, and I want to have this conversation, and I'm trying to understand. I've grown up with black people. I live in black neighborhood right now. I don't have any problem with anyone, but I do see what happens, and you guys terrorize each other. Tell me why. And tell me why Black Lives Matter only when a white guy is killing a black guy, okay? I got much love for you. I want to hear your response. Please respond to this. God bless you and your family and everyone that you know. And I hope that the violence ends. I'm sure it's not gonna. I'm sure not many people are even gonna watch this video, and that's fine. I've been drinking wine, and I need to get this out. All right.